Hello everyone, my name's Dominic. You probably never heard about me, but anyways, I'm here to show you my run for the esports thingy that's going on at the moment. I finished P9 I think in the first event on PS4. So, well, yeah, I don't know what to talk about really. Let's just watch it and I'll tell you what I'm doing. So, exiting that corner, it's very important to get the traction, and it's incredibly important to go down the inside of Kimi here on, on this hairpin as clean as you can, because that gives you the optimal opportunity to go past Stroll, either before or between the left and the right hander. So on this run I think I managed to get by him into the right hander. On some runs I managed to pass him before the left hander, because there's a thing with the AI when they're lapped. Whenever they're about to be lapped, you just have to get out of their stream, or get out or place your car alongside their line, and they will most of the time will brake and let you by without any problems. So going through here, it's incredibly important to, as always in intermediate conditions, to get the power down as good as you can in order to get the power down onto the longest straight of the circuit. I'm new to commentary, as you may be able to tell, so excuses in advance for that. Into this hairpin, I had quite a bit of trouble going into this hairpin on all of my runs. Actually, only managed it 3 or 4 times during all of my runs to get that hairpin to perfection, as well as the final corner. So on the first lap, as you can see, I did a 45.8. On my best attempt I did a 45.6 I think on my first lap, but as always with these events, it's all about consistency and stringing together the laps as good as you can. It's not about necessarily the perfect lap when you can't repeat it 5 times. So I always went down into lean mix through that first sequence of corners to, first of all, save fuel, and second of all, get a good exit. So going into this hairpin, this is on every run I did, this was the one clean lap, or the one free lap I had. So the fastest lap is usually set on your second lap, because you get free laps afterwards, but every lap that passes by, the circuit dries out a tiny bit more. So at least I couldn't manage to get faster the drier the circuit became with time, but I don't know about you guys, but it was the case with me at least. So as you can see, 2.5 tenths up. So the most important thing about stringing together these runs, in my opinion, is to, at least what I found, don't restart. Try to how do I say it? Try to bring the run to an end as good as you can, because that way you keep the rhythm, you keep the flow, and you can analyze what you do wrong and what you do right in a much better way. So on the very good runs, I managed to take the Red Bulls during the long right-hander. I think I managed that here as well, as we may be able to tell in a moment. So I did a 45.5 whatever. I actually, the best lap I managed on during all of my runs was a 484 I think it was. But the rest of the laps on that particular one was crap. So yeah. As you can see, we managed to take Ricardo going through the first sequence of corners, and usually when you manage to do that without any troubles, you can get Verstappen into the hairpin. Same way with Kimi on the first lap, try to get out without any sort of flamboyance or any unnecessary time loss. So what I wanted, you may have noticed going along the straightaway on the previous lap, that I switched through all of my cameras. That's because I ran into some trouble with my pedals, which the trouble was that it randomly starts braking without me doing anything on the brake. So as I'm driving with cockpit cam, I don't have any sort of telemetry which I can observe. So it's like a phobia that's sort of developed with me, that I have to, whenever I get the chance to go through all the cameras to see if there's tiny bit of break on the telemetry or not. So as it now has stopped raining, I developed a habit that whenever I'm on that very long straight, I go through the more go through the wet part of the circuit to cool the tires down. It's just a habit. I'm not particularly sure that it helped me with anything, but yeah, I like to play it real, so I did that. As you can see, we had like 18.1 seconds gap to Vettel. I think I knew at that point that it was gonna be a very good run. So the biggest worry about getting a good run for me was always the Renaults, as you can see here. Excuse me. So whenever you come across the Renaults, it's extremely important to, as you can see, I dived the living crap out of Hulkenberg, and as I said, it's extremely important to go past Palmer before this sequence of corners, because if you can't get past him before the quick left-hander, you have to deal with him along with the quick. You have to deal with him all the way through the quick right-hander and through the double left-hander, which will cost you at least half a second, 6/10 or something like that. And at the same time, it will destroy your rhythm, destroy the whole run with it. So I managed to do that on this run, and as with every lap or as with every run, whenever I manage to do that, and I think I'm not the only one, it's quite easy to get too nervous and to get too conservative, that you're thinking, wow, I've done such a good run up until this point, so I don't want to blow it. Yeah, it's totally understandable if you're not one of the absolute top guys on the leaderboard, which by the way I don't quite understand how. I know there's quite a pace difference between PS4 and PC, but still I think the best time on PC was like a 15.7 by I think he's German, Patrick Holtzman, and I did like a 19 flat, which was good enough for 9th place on the leaderboard on PS4, which, having said that, is only like 6.5 tenths away from the best time on PS4, so I'm quite happy with that, as I've not done many hours of genuinely competitive online racing. I only did career mode up until this point, so quite happy with that, to now see what's gonna happen next week on Wednesday, when the top 10 guys on PS4 battle it out. So coming on to the last lap now, this is one of the few last laps, as I'm about to contradict what I said earlier. This is one of the few last laps where I managed to improve my time. So as you can see, I'm only 1,000 down through the first sector just before they happen. And whenever you see something like that, it's a lot easier when you're like 1.5 tenths down, or 2.5, or quite a big gap, relatively speaking, down in the first sector already. It's quite easy, or for me at least, to get a bit too nervous, get a bit too greedy in the next few corners to make up for the time loss you think you made through the first sector, and to just lose it all and blow it on. So I'm quite happy with the last lap I did here. So as you can see, I'm like 35,000, 0.035 seconds down on my previous lap. So whenever you go past the banner before the braking point, whenever you go past it and then Hamilton crosses the line, it's usually a good run. So I managed to do that on this run, so I knew it was going to be a good one. Coming up to the line, I didn't want to blow it, and on the last corner by getting any sort of track extending or whatever, and as you can see, I managed to improve to a 45.501, I think it was. So quite happy with that. At the time it was, I think, good enough for a P5, and yeah, it ended up being P9, so I'm very happy with that. And yeah, let's see what will happen next week. There's your score and my best lap, if anyone's interested. So yeah, the recording's about to end. Thanks for watching a lot. Thanks a lot for watching, I'm sorry. Yeah, hope this run may have helped you for any future runs, or for your driving maybe. And yeah, catch you later, catch you next time. Cheers.